Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I'm Katrina Ness, joined by Ted Ings and an amazing group of automotive industry professionals. Right now, we are at the Reynolds and Reynolds headquarters in Dayton, Ohio.
This panel is about Reynolds Advanced Service, and joining us today is Derrike Ramey from the Reynolds and Reynolds Company, and with us are two retail fixed operations specialists, Don Andres and Linda Hansen. Everybody, welcome to Reynolds and Reynolds and the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
Dan, glad to be here. Yeah, thanks for the invite. Yeah.
So yesterday, Katrina, you and I had a chance to spend the day at Reynolds. We had a tour of the facility, including the campus and the Innovation Center. Derrike did an amazing job taking us to what Reynolds has for retailers today, for fixed operations, and what's coming. Derrike, great job with that. And thanks. Tell our audience a little bit about some of the things that you showed us.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's nice to show off our Innovation Center. Really, it's a mock dealership that we have on campus, and we can really show off all of our products. So whether we're scheduling an appointment online or checking in for the appointment, we have all of the tools and products here on site. And that's what we do. We walk all of our customers through that there. So really cool. And
we had a chance to see everything from dropping the vehicle off to service right up with things like Go Moto. Yeah. The kiosks were here. You showed us a little bit about SPG. We talked a little bit about some of the things that the technicians do with videos as well and the MPIs. Very, very professional and well done. And I can understand why you want to show that off to dealers, who are either Reynolds clients or considering Reynolds.
Absolutely. And it's really neat, too, when they see the whole process from beginning to end and just seeing everything for themselves, that really the light bulb goes off. They can see, oh, wow, that's a really streamlined process, and they can see how it would work. So it's really powerful to have that experience here and to really see that the products really are streamlined. They really do communicate with each other, and then they can have that for themselves in their dealership.
And it's very complete, because if I were a dealer going through that tour, I could instantly identify, oh, wait a second, we don't have that part of the process, right. Or yeah. We're not doing this. Linda, maybe you could speak to that with some of the efficiencies that you help dealers work on and improve in dealership.
Thanks, Ted. I'd be happy to. One of the things that I enjoy doing when I go into a dealership, I think as a consultant and as a trainer, the best tools I have are my eyes and my ears. So I observe a lot. I like to do what I refer to as a waist walk. I know it sounds a little odd, but basically after getting an approval from an employee, I will kind of follow them around the dealership. It is not to be able to point out where they're doing something wrong. It's to help look at the flow and try and find inefficiencies, which is exactly what your system does. That's right. Takes some of those steps and shrinks them down a little bit to make sure that we're not wasting anyone's time, the customer, the advisor, or the technician. When I do a waste walk with a technician, it is amazing how much time you can find that is not anything that's billable for the customer. And it's all about the billable hours. We talk about that in Fixed Ops Roundtable all the time. It's all about the hours. I was recently at a BMW dealership, and it's a very customer-focused dealership. And one of the things that they like to do is have their technicians engage with the customers. So we found that there was 0.8 of an hour on average every day being wasted by their technicians because of the inefficient placement of the hand washing machine. So wow. I'm working on a car. I need to go talk to a customer. I had to walk far to the back of the shop, wash my hands, come back through the shop again, and talk to the customer. So just if you take 19 technicians and 0.8 of an hour per day on average, there's a lot of billable money that's going out the window. So that investment was made in putting another hand washing station closer to the service advisors, and the technicians were happy because now they're making more money, and it just speeds up the whole process. So anything you can do to eliminate inefficiencies, electronic, anything that you can do, and I really enjoy some of the things that we were talking about with your parts system. Yeah. Because that eliminates a lot of wasted time.
Oh, absolutely.
Another inefficiency I can think of is communication within different departments in the dealership. So, Don, touch on the importance of productive communication through the different departments.
Yeah, everybody has to be on the same page, right? So you have to be able to know that from the appointment process through the write-up process, the meet and greet. Everything has to move in a single format and a single flow. When you look at dealerships that you go into that I visit where they're just missing that structure, and it usually is the tools they're using. It's not uncommon to see a dealership with a desktop and all these tools opened up with the advisor, all these third-party people all trying to have what they think is helping an advisor through a day or through a process, and in fact it becomes overwhelming for them. So one of the things that the conversation I was having with Derrike was just this idea of closing the loop, where everybody understands the tool. They use the tool seamlessly from the write-up through to the technician. Technician sees it electronically. This is my next car. I'm going to go ahead and diagnose concern. I'm going to do my multi-point inspection. I'm going to do my quick video. I'm going to send that to parts in order to find out where we're at with pricing and with availability of the parts. It goes to the service advisor. He sees all that information. I can now text all of that to the client, which is the seamless way of interrupting a customer. If I'm going to interrupt the customer at work, I want to do it as quick and as seamless as possible. I can pull it up on my phone. I can see it. I communicated as an advisor, said, hey, I'm going to be sending you some stuff. I'll call you. We can talk about this. And now the customer can, on their phone, approve it. This is this closing of the loop where everybody's working off of the exact same page. Now, what does that mean from a management standpoint? If somebody chooses not to do it, which is one of those things we see with service advisors, technicians that decide to buck the system, well, they stand out like a sore thumb. Yep. And so now it becomes much easier to manage individuals within your department because the system works, everybody's bought in, and of course, technicians are turning hours. So we love that.
Absolutely.
And Reynolds speaks to transparency. Tools such as Service Price Guide really help the dealership and the retailer become more transparent with the customer. And I saw that throughout the Fixed Operations Innovation Center tour yesterday, Derrike. And a lot of the things that you're doing, when a retailer sees them for the first time, it stands out, okay? That's really good. We got to have that. And we heard that throughout the tour yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to speak to that with the service price guides, it gives all of the information to the technician. So if they are recommending those services and parts, they can see that, they have them there. They can see the price breakdown, all of that transparency, even sales drivers. So it can really be the lips to the advisors as well on why those services and parts are necessary. And really, to what you're saying with closing the loop, that is our advanced service. It's really a suite of tools that streamline that process. Not just for the dealerships, but for the customers as well and how we're communicating with them. So whether, we're automatically tech dispatching based off skill set and availability, or doing electronic write-ups, to doing the report card mobilely, in fact, and taking those photos and videos. So that way we can send that information to the customer to see. It's a really neat process.
And Katrina, we saw this under the big umbrella of Retail Anywhere. Yep. Reynolds is focused on being able to retail that vehicle, whether it's on the sales side or on the service and parts side, anywhere the customer is, if they're at the dealership, if they're at home, if they're at work, as Derrike was just saying, contacting the customer. And it really makes it, it's not a disjointed process. It all speaks together in concert with one. I think that's really important for the customer.
Yeah, it is. It's really smooth the way Reynolds has all their products set up. And we learned that yesterday in the Innovation Center, like Ted said, when we went and had the opportunity to tour their mock dealership. So it's not only beneficial for the customer, but also the consumer, because the consumer wants their car done as soon as possible. And when you have these processes that work together and are put in place that are seamless, it works wonders for the employees in the dealership, because they get to turn more hours, but also the consumer, because they get their car done faster.
Derrike, what's one thing that you want our audience to know about Reynolds and Reynolds and all the good work that you're doing here on fixed operations? Because that is not just an important part for today, but for the future, not just for Reynolds clients, but for even customers considering Reynolds down the road.
Yeah, really by using the streamlined process that we've talked about is really going to increase profitability and maximize efficiency. So really what I mean is we're increasing capacity without extending hours, which makes for really happy customers and really happy dealerships.
Well, Derrike, congratulations to you and Reynolds and your team. Very impressed at what you have going here. Keep up the great work, and we're looking forward to seeing and hearing more this week while we're here at Reynolds and Reynolds. Katrina Ness and I, Don Andres and Linda Hansen, thank you so much for joining us on the panel today and giving us your input as well. We're here at Reynolds and Reynolds, everybody, and we will be right back.